Hey everybody, this video is going to be about how I help my filly soften into the halter. I rushed a couple times and it allowed a brace to come back into her, and I'm going to show you how I fix it. So you're going to see my mouth moving in this, but my mic was actually dead, so that was my mistake. So I'm going to voice over it. But anyway, so the first thing I'm doing here is I'd already caught her and I'm now taking the halter off, and now I'm going to work on putting it back onto her. But as soon as that halter starts to touch the side of her face, I want her to start coming over to me. So you can see this haltering here was pretty bracy, pretty frozen. I'm doing this on purpose to demonstrate how moving too quickly like that just makes her freeze in place, and that's not what I want at all. So I know that caused some tension, so I'm going to take her for a walk so we can try to relieve some of that tension that came up. And you know she was tense because you saw her head up and her ears back, and she just was frozen through it. And I don't want her to be frozen at all through even something as simple as haltering, because that means she'll be frozen with other things that I'm asking her to do. So now I'm getting ready to take the halter off, and this is a moment where it's really important to me that the horse stays soft in this and doesn't decide to remove themselves from it. So I'm going to take things off really slowly and really clearly. I'm not being creepy, I'm being really specific on how I want her to respond to the crown piece leaving her poll and then the noseband coming off of her nose. So see right there, as it starts to come off, she felt that movement and she wanted to remove herself from it, but see, I just steadied it. I'm just steadying everything, steadying it, waiting on her to stay soft in it. And then I'm going to slowly take it off when I feel that she was nice and steady. That was really nice. Then I'm just going to hang on to it for a second because I'm going to put it back on. Now, when I go to put it back on, same thing, slow, steady, clear. I'm going to bring my aids, my left hand and the crown piece, to the left side of her face, and I want her to give off of that a little bit. That was kind of jerky, but it's okay. As I bring it up over her nose, I'm trying not to ruffle the hair. When I bring the crown piece behind her ears there, I want her to soften into that instead of brace against it, just like that. So this is going good. So now I'm getting ready to take it back off of her, and I put my hand across the bridge of her nose here to kind of help stabilize the noseband, because when that noseband jumps and moves around quickly, that's typically the moment that she's going to throw herself into it and brace. And like I said, I'm trying to do haltering and unhaltering with no brace. So as everything starts to slide off of her, this is a moment that is really important that she's not going to brace into it. And you see it's difficult for her. She kind of had a little bit of like some movement there, but that's okay. Just ignore it and keep going on and help her find the answer. So because she was kind of tucked in whenever I released the halter that time, you notice it was kind of like a recoil effect, and she just came right out of it and kind of whipped the head up and out. So that wasn't really softness. Like, it looks like she was in the right position, but the position didn't really matter because the way her muscles felt and the way she was feeling still was holding tension. So that's not what we want. So notice I immediately went right back to putting it back on and just helping her work it out here. I'm being really careful here to feel the slightest movements that are a little bit evasive and trying to get out, and trying to show her how to come to a spot where she can be relaxed. And you see that's why I kind of stayed with her a couple times. And notice this time she didn't whip her head out, she kind of whipped it closer to me, but that was still significantly better than last time. So then I let her loose. So after the last release, I let her wander around just a little bit to relieve any tension that she had been accumulating, and also because she's not even 2 yet, she definitely needs some breaks, I think, to help her stay patient and engaged. So I decided to work on the halter just a couple more times because it was important to me that we could find a spot that she was soft and giving to the halter in the way that I'd like her to, and was just more relaxed about it, because this is something that I need to really clean up and make sure that it can become more of a long-standing behavior, not something that she reverts back into bracing. So this one was okay. You know, we lost a little bit of the softness, but I like her eye here. Her eye is a little bit better. She's still holding some tension there in the right side of her poll. You can kind of see the way she moves it. She's holding it with some tension. But, you know, it's not perfect right now, and that's okay, because this is the first time in a long while that I was really making a point about how I was haltering her. So I'm going to do my best, but there's still some development needed. So like I said, she's less than 2, and so this whole training session lasted between 20 and 30 minutes. She got a lot of breaks from the specific thing that I was working on, whether I turned her loose for 3 minutes or so, or I took her for a walk, and at the end I just cast her off and lunge her just a hair, pick up a little trot, and just help her move her body a little bit, because I've been asking her to be really standing still through all of this, and I know that's a little bit hard for her. So trying to work together on these things. And yeah, so here I am taking the halter off again, and really, like, see, there's a moment where she wants to just come out of it, but see, I'm using my right hand as support there, and that's very, very important, I think, to help her have that sensation of stability versus the strings coming off of her and she has places to get out. See, that was one of my favorite ones that I got from her, and it'll only improve from there. So this was my best one, and this is where I end the haltering portion of her session, and you can see how she follows my feel of the halter on the outside and my hand and arm on top of her neck and pull area. I bring the noseband over and she's quiet with that. I tie the knot and she stays soft there. She doesn't brace against it. So this was definitely a much better haltering moment here. So after I'm finished here, then that's when I take her off to move her around a little bit. Before I went and moved her, I did continue just asking for just a little bit more softness, just remove a little bit more brace here, and I just did that by rubbing on her face a little bit and wiggling my hand across the bridge of her nose a hair, just to help her kind of release that pull and release that brace in her neck. You know, she was a lot softer with this round, but still there was a little bit, and like I said, because I'm trying to improve it, but it's going to take some sessions. So this is me coming back after I moved her around a little bit, and you'll see this is where I'm going to release her, and it is definitely my best release of the session as well. So I think it's good that in this video you can see how things progress and change. So the things that you're looking for is that your horse is soft whenever you're haltering them, so that they can yield to you just like she did there while I'm taking the halter off, but they can yield to you whenever you are putting the halter on. As you take the halter off, they don't rip their heads out of it and they don't brace as it goes on or off. And those are just general markers. You just want it to be soft and you don't want them to brace.